Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, True Crime with Jess Rose. Thank you for joining me again. It's been a long month, nearly a month now in self-isolation. It's been long, but we're all safe. I hope you all are too. Let me know how you're all getting on. And tonight I'd like to look at, it was a show that was on BBC Three, I think last year. Was it last year or the year before? I think it was last year. And it's about a lad called Alex Skeel. And the show was actually called Abused by My Girlfriend. Now, the BBC did a few of these. And there was Beaten by My Boyfriend, Killed by My Daughter, which I've actually done. That's the one, the youngest couple in England to be killed for double murder. If you want to have a look at that, I've done that quite a while ago. There's been quite a few. Killed by My Father. They've done quite a few, and the reason I've done this one, I think it's important to highlight that domestic abuse doesn't just affect women. It doesn't. It's a fact. Obviously, there's less males that come forward, although I think that's changed over the past, say, decade or so. But still, I think there's a stigma attached to it, which is a real shame. If you've got a son and you've always taught him you don't hit girls and, and brought them up that way, I think there are girls out there that will take advantage of that. And no matter how much, the lad's pushed, he's been taught you don't hit a girl back. And it's a shame that goes on. I mean, no one should put hands on anyone. It works both ways. It's just really sad both ways. But like I say, it's about a young lad called Alex Skeel. Now, Alex grew up in Bedfordshire in England. He's a twin. His twin was Luke. He's Luke, sorry. Loves football. And when you see on the show him and his friends, you see his mum on the show, real close-knit and just a real sweet group of people. I mean, his best friend's on the show, Jordan Parker. Just a real caring group. That's the impression you get when you're watching it. Just a really nice group of people. They all love the group Bastille. They've grew up together. Just a real close group. Well, Alex meets Jordan Worth. So obviously his best friend's Jordan, but he meets a girl called Jordan when he was 17. Now, Jordan's a year older, she's 18, but on first appearance, everyone thought she was just really sweet, caring, seemed to really, really dote on Alex. And you see pictures of her, she's teeny. She's tiny. Looks very timid in the photos as well, just a real, I know you can't tell from photos, but just looks sweet and timid and, looks can be deceiving. Well, Geraldine, who's Alex's mum, they all call her Jed, she's on the show, and she just said she was a bit suspicious of her. Jed was very protective over Alex. Like I say, he was a twin to Luke, but Alex was, they were born prematurely, and Alex was the weaker of the two. And she says she's actually got 3 boys, but Alex was the one she always worried about. And you can see he's quite, he seems quite vulnerable. He's just a really sweet boy. And, she said she was very protective of him. And she had a bad feeling about Jordan, and how it started off with was, like I said, Jordan was very sweet. She'd go to parties with them all, and, it all started off, lovely. But then Jordan started saying things like, I don't like grey on you, Alex. Or I don't like your hair like that. Just little things like that just popped in. And Alex explains on the show, he says he didn't think anything of it at first. He just thought, oh, well, I won't wear that again. Oh, well, I won't get my hair done like that again. You know, they're flags that as women we're taught, oh, you know, not great, especially early days, you know. But he didn't really think much of it, and then it started progressing to, why do your family always sit round eating dinner together? She was very jealous of how close. Remember I said his family were really close, and she didn't like that. She didn't get it, she didn't understand it, and she certainly didn't want Alex being part of this close family. You know, but they treated her very well, and in April 2013, Jordan turned 18, and they booked the Lion King for her in London. Alex's family did, and they all went, and they were staying at a hotel, and she doesn't run her. And Alex goes to his mum, like, she's gone. I don't know where she's gone, but she's disappeared. And they're all quite frantic, like, where has she gone? Like, the evening seemed to have gone okay. She turns up just after midnight, Alex says, and she just laughs. She finds the whole episode quite funny. It was all very odd. And he let his family know. And, of course, his mum, who's suspicious of her anyway, is like, you know, alarm bells going off everywhere. But they stay together, and on the 17th of August 2013, it's Alex and Luke's 18th birthday party, and, you know, Jed organises. I mean, Jordan, Alex's best friend, he says, you know, she loves her boys, and she wanted to do this big extravagant party for them with, you know, great invites and football cakes, and, you know, she really went all out for the boys' birthday. But halfway through the evening, Jordan, Alex's girlfriend, decides to kick off. Now, there's a girl on the show, and she's Jed, which obviously Alex's mum's best friend's daughter. She's a little bit younger than Alex. Very pretty girl, though, and Jordan does not like her at all. I think at the time she was only 15, so only a baby. Jordan doesn't like her. And she actually says to Alex, if she's there, or she's going to be there, I'm not going to go. Anyway, party goes ahead, and the girl's there. Jordan kicks off, you know, royally. And Alex says, you know, all the music stopped. Everyone's staring over, and he's mortified because they're staring over at him and his girlfriend. And she's losing her mind. But she ruins the party anyway, completely ruins the party. And Alex is torn because he loves her, and he can see she's not quite right, but he loves her, and he obviously sees a different side of her, and he doesn't want that kind of arguing within the family. It's a real shame. He's put in a really awkward position because everyone's telling him to leave her. But 2 weeks later, she snaps Alex's SIM card. He doesn't really elaborate too much on that, but he just said, she snapped my SIM card. And that was it. It was like a light bulb moment for him. And he was like, no, absolutely not. I can't do this. And he finishes with her. Everyone's really relieved. You know, they feel like he's dodged a bullet and he's got away. And, you know, his best friend's like, thank goodness. But then she turns up to his mum and says, I'm pregnant. Mum's like, yeah, right then. You know, she literally said it on the show. I didn't believe her. And made her take a pregnancy test in her house that day. She's pregnant. And, you know, Alex is like, you know, it's not the fact that she was pregnant. It's just like, he thought he'd just got rid of this girl, I'm sure. You know, and she just disappears. She disappears for a whole year. Just off the face of the earth. You know, they realise she's definitely pregnant, but she's gone. I was on the show anyway, don't know where she's gone. Haven't found out where she went. But anyway, she disappears for a year. And Thomas J is born on the 19th of May 2014. So there is a baby. She's not lying. But like I say, she disappeared. But on the 12th of August 2014, she phones up Jed. And she says, do you want to meet your grandson? And Geraldine, Jed says, Yeah, I do. And Jordan brings Thomas round, and they actually call him TJ. And Jed says when she opened the door to him, he just looked the stamp of Alex when he was a baby, and she melted and invited her in. And Alex isn't happy about this. He's moved on. He wants to see the baby, but he doesn't want anything to do with her. So it's arranged that he'll see TJ and meet TJ at his granddad's house. Now, Alex does say he's so close to his granddad, so close. He even says it's possibly the one main person in his life that he cares about and, really close to. And he meets TJ with him, and he just says he was gorgeous, and he bonded with him straight away. And they all, while this is going on, Jordan's back around the family, and the family feel like she's changed. It was like a quick, complete switch, because it was them telling him to get rid of her, and now it's them saying, we feel like she's changed, and motherhood's been good for her, and eventually Jordan and TJ moving to Alex's mum and dad's house, Jed's house. But it doesn't take long for the cracks to start showing again at all. January 1st, 2015, so the new year, they become official. But like I say, it's not too long after that she starts again. She starts being controlling again, and Jed says that Jordan drives, and she says that her best friend phones her saying that Jordan and Alex were driving down the road and completely started just screaming out the car at the best friend's daughter again, the same one from the party. Jordan really had a real hatred for this girl and somehow roped Alex into it. So when they got home, Jed was like, no, this isn't starting again. I'm not having this again. And Jordan packs up TJ's stuff. She goes, Alex, are you coming with us? And they leave. They leave the family home to move in with Jordan's parents. Don't hear too much about them. You just hear that they move in with them. And they move in May 2015. But doesn't really elaborate more on her parents. But then Jed says she doesn't see her son for 2 years. Obviously, a son and grandson. 2 years, that's it. And she's devastated. She doesn't know at that point it's going to be 2 years, but she's absolutely devastated at how it's worked out. And, so they move in with Jordan's parents. And he said it was okay for a very short amount of time. And she starts accusing him of cheating. This is where it starts up again and escalates. And basically what she says is when she disappeared for the year while she was pregnant, she just wouldn't let up that he must have cheated in that time. Now, nothing said. He doesn't say whether he was seeing anyone at that time or, whether he was doing anything at that time. It doesn't class, I believe, as cheating. They weren't together. She left. But either way, he didn't say anything on that, but he just says she wouldn't stop. She would not stop. It was just like, you must have cheated. You must have cheated. Tell me who it is. And she's just won't let up on it. And plus, on top of that, she's starting to isolate him. She gets rid of his phone. She gets rid of his PlayStation. She wants to make sure there's no way he can contact anyone. And his mum got that desperate, she sent him some money through, internet banking. It was only £1, but just so she could leave a message in the reference, just saying, I love you, get in touch, something along those lines. And it just come back saying, I hate you. I presume the pound got bounced back, and then in the reference it was put, but, just spiteful girl, because obviously it was Jordan. Alex wasn't doing that. And like I say, he's getting more and more isolated. He's not allowed to speak to anyone. They're still at her mum's at this point, but he says the one day she comes up the stairs and says, my mum's just had a call, your granddad's dead. If you remember me saying, like, he was so close to his granddad. He's so close to his granddad. Sorry, I keep speaking in the past tense. And he's absolutely devastated. And she walks out the room, comes back a little while later, and obviously Alex is still really upset. You know, he's just lost the one person he cared about the most in the world. You know, and she goes, why are you still upset? He goes, probably because you've just told me my granddad died. And he was like, oh, he didn't die. He didn't die. Get over it. Oh, rotten girl. Rotten girl. There's just so much jealousy there. Just awful, horrible girl. Now, in July 2016, Alex, Jordan and TJ move out of her parents' house and they get their own place in, let me pronounce this, Stuart Bay. And Alex says for the first month it was okay, you know, they had their own space. He thought things might get better and they agreed to try for another baby. He says, and pretty much, you know, she caught it pretty much straight away. But things just started to get worse while she was pregnant, and she'd started to become that paranoid that she made him quit his job, a job he liked. He says he liked his job. She made him quit his job. Now, she was going to uni, so she was sorting herself out. Do you know what she made him do? She made him go every day with her and just sit around on the campus. So he couldn't possibly go and visit his mum. That's what she says. So you don't go and visit your family. I can't trust that you won't try and go and visit them while I'm out, so you're going to come with me. She took all his money. She took his bank card. He had no money. He didn't drive. He was stuck. You know, we say about it all the time with when the roles are reversed, and I have done stories where, you know, it's a domestic violence situation, male on female, and it's so similar. It's such a similar story, just the opposite way around, but the controlling and the way it starts to build up, it's just so similar. I don't think it matters if you're male or female. I think if that's who you are as a person, it makes no difference of your sex. You are a controlling person. That's just it. And, you know, it's just sad for whoever meets you. So the family do try to find Alex, and they, you know, hear that he's in Stuart Bay, and Jed's sister, I think it's his aunt, knows someone who used to live there, so they start driving around. It can't be that big, because they spotted the house, and apparently Jordan liked little elephants, collecting them, and they spotted some elephants in a window. That's what I'm saying. It's got to have been a small place. And they knock on, and she says that the light still went off. She's seen a silhouette of Alex, but then he walked out the room and no one answered the door. So she says, oh my God, he hates us. And she left, and you just feel so sad for him and her, because he just doesn't know what to do. You know, no one realised, no one had any idea what he was going through, you know, and I suppose it's even harder in a way for people to realise what a male's going through, because with a female, I suppose you'd have more, there'd be more flags, and you'd be like, oh, that's not right, but because it's the other way around, you'd be like, oh, it must be him, you know, because how could she possibly be telling him what to do and to not get in touch with us and stuff. Sorry, cat's out again. So now, like I say, things are really escalating between Jordan and Alex. She's constantly accusing him of cheating. And now it's getting violent. You know, the domestic actual violence is starting now. And when I say violence, this girl was awful. She was vile. You know, they went out the one night and they were going to see a show of some sort. It was like supposed to be a break for them, and she made him take a load of sleeping tablets from over-the-counter sleeping tablets from the chemist. And when they got back to the hotel, obviously he passed out, and he woke up to boiling water being poured down his back. and she said that her parents must have gone to this show as well, and she told my parents the shower broke. The shower was faulty. You know, already setting up what to say. She's just poured boiling water out of a kettle down the poor boy's back. You know, another time that when he was home, he'd be asleep and she'd hit him with a hammer over his head while he's asleep. You know, this is how it began to build up kind of momentum, I suppose. You know, then she starts cutting him with knives, she starts going after him with knives and stuff, and just real violence. And it said that, you know, she didn't hit him for one day. She'd make up for it the next day and hit him even harder the next day. On the 3rd of February 2017, Alex called his dad for help. He you know, he was desperate, and he did phone his dad, and they went round there. And he wouldn't answer the door when his dad got there. It's just so sad. So he did reach out for help, but she made sure he wasn't opening the door to his dad. There's just so much she was doing to this poor boy. She bought a lie detector. Still convinced he's cheated on her, by the way. Which says only one thing to me. She's the one who left for a year. That would suggest to me it was her who was possibly in another relationship while she was gone. You know, she didn't come back till TJ was, 4 months old? What was she doing all that time? And nothing's ever mentioned about it. But yeah, she's still continuing to say he was cheating on her within that year. And bought this lie detector, and he said while it was on his fingers, £5 she spent on it, so obviously it was great. And while his hands are connected to this lie detector, she's beside him with a boiling kettle, and she keeps turning it on every time it goes off to keep it boiling. And the lie detector pinged that he was lying over some question or other. Pours the boiling water over, and that she loved the boiling water. You know, you see the scald marks all over him. You know, this guy was getting tortured. On the 2nd of May 2017, Iris is born. Alex and Jordan's little girl. And he says he just hoped that maybe these things would get better. You know, it just sounds like the other way around, doesn't it? A baby's going to solve everything. Obviously it didn't. He says, I think he said 2 days it was okay for her, and then she came out swinging. She had missed him for a few days, so yeah, she was back with a vengeance. On the 3rd of June 2017, he says she was trying to pour boiling water on him, and he ran to the bathroom, and then she came at him with a bread knife. Now, you see the marks. He's put his hands up to stop the boiling water, so obviously all down his arm. Then she comes at him with a knife, and again he's put his hand up, and it's split all here. You see the neighbours, you know, are hearing screaming. He said he was screaming in agony. Neighbours have phoned the police. And there's blood everywhere. Now, if you've ever watched this documentary, and it is a documentary, because you see him telling his story, but it starts off with the police turning up at the door, and it's the policeman is called Ed. Ed's the policeman who turns up, and Sergeant Ed Finn, sorry. And he's got the camera on his jacket, and you see him come in, and there is blood everywhere. It just looks like a horrific crime scene. The sinks, blood's everywhere, and then you see Alex sat on the stairs, and when you see the pictures of him at the big, when he'd met Jordan and before, just such a handsome, happy, healthy looking boy. And this lad, he was sat on the stairs just kind of in a huddle, and she says, oh, Alex hurts himself, Alex cuts himself, and he agrees with it. And Ed says, you know, they were quite calm, you know, very matter of fact about the whole thing. And, you know, he takes Alex to the hospital, or they call an ambulance, one or the other, but Alex goes to the hospital. And he said it did play on his mind, didn't know what he'd exactly just seen. Now, Alex goes to A&E with his horrific injuries, and he's set to go down for surgery, to have skin grafts on his arm. I mean, she's really damaged this lad. And just as he's about to go down for surgery, she convinces him to leave the hospital. And he says the surgeon actually cut his face and says, don't go, you know, are you being hurt? Because he looks terrible at this point. By this point, she's not letting him eat. He has to sleep on the floor. You know, she's beating him practically every day with anything she can get hold of. You know, wires, hammers, knives, boiling water, everything I've said. You know, he looks horrific. You know, and he just says the same thing to the surgeon. No, I'm fine, I've done it to myself. And he walks out of the hospital, which is so, so sad. He says everything about that particular situation was perfect. Perfect in the sense that he should say no. He should be honest and say, look, I'm not hurting myself. But he was too scared. He was scared of what she'd say. He was scared if, you know, if they were separate, what she'd do to the children. He says, you know, one of the main reasons he stuck about, he wasn't sure if she'd turn on the kids. You know, not so much Iris being about that, or maybe, you know, but TJ, he was very worried for the kids, and he didn't want to leave them in that situation as well. He didn't say that she'd ever hurt the kids. He'd never said that, but I think he was scared that if she didn't have him around as a punch bag, she could turn on the kids. You know, and he goes back with her. But like I say, Ed, the sergeant, he couldn't settle. He just still wasn't 100% what he'd seen. You know, but it didn't take long for him to get another call. And a week later, on the 10th of June 2017, there's a call to the address again. He takes the call. He actually volunteers. He says, I'll take this one. You know, it's the middle of the afternoon. Again, you see it. You see him turn up at the door and you see him go in. And he says, in the light, because when he went the week before, it was quite dingy. It was quite dark. You know, Alex was on the stairs. You couldn't quite make out. But this was light, and you get to see it as well. And, oh, poor Alex. His face is a mess. He's just awful. And he comes in and he says once you've seen him in the cold light of day, you see him bring Alex up the stairs and leave Jordan downstairs. And he goes, who's, you know, is she doing this to you? And Alex is still saying, no, you know, I'm doing it to myself. You know, he's not being nasty, but he's being quite defensive. And, you know, Ed wasn't having it. And even at that point in the footage, she comes into the room, Jordan does. Oh, can I change Iris over here? Why couldn't you change her downstairs? And Ed says, I'm going to take him. I'm going to take Alex. And you see them out in the hallway, and she's going, well, are you coming back tonight? Shall I be here? Do you want to talk to me on your own? Kind of thing. And fair play to Alex, he's like, no. And he leaves. He goes outside, and once they're in the car, Ed says again, you know, I don't believe it. I don't believe you're doing this to yourself. And Alex is still saying he's... And Ed turns his camera off. He says, it's me and you now. Tell me the truth. And Alex tells him, and he says, it's her. It's her. She's been hurting me for quite a long time, but please don't tell her I've told you. Can you just say it's the neighbours that have said it? Still don't say it's me. And, you know, he finally speaks out. He gets the courage to speak out against her. And then you see them go back into Jordan and arrest her and charge her with GBH at that time. And she's just like, oh, well, how long will it be? Will I be back in about an hour? very nonchalant about the whole thing, just very calm. She's quite very, like I say, very quiet, very unassuming and tiny. You'd have to watch it to see where I'm coming from with this. It's just, you can understand how many other times the police had been called out, why was believed to a degree, because you just wouldn't have imagined that that's what was going on behind behind closed doors. You know, and you see Alex get brought to, it's a part of the police station, but it's quite comfortable. You know, he's on a kind of sofa and there's someone talking to him, and she's brought into, you know, a suite to be, not a suite, you know, a room to be questioned. Sorry, complete brain block there. I'm still a bit like, oh, you horrible girl. And she's brought in, she's got a solicitor there, but she just admits practically everything, bar, well, I didn't separate him from his family. He told me he didn't want to see them. You know, she's like, when can I see him? And, you know, they're asking her questions, and the one that, even the solicitor, you see the solicitor and he starts doing this as she's answering, but they're asking her about the knife, and she's like, well, I didn't stab him, I just cut him. And the solicitor starts doing this because he's like, oh my God. Because she genuinely, and what? I just cut him. They bring the hairbrush out that she's been beating him with, that he hasn't even got a handle anymore. And she's like, oh yeah, she actually knocked his tooth out with that. You know, you see photos of him, he's got slashes all down his legs, his arms, you know, thick skin all missing from his arms. Just, the poor boy, scarred. He's obviously scarred for life. And the doctors at that time actually said that Alex had about 10 days to live. That's it. Had it carried on, he'd have had 10 days. That's it. And it had been over. Which is really scary. And in the interview, all you see, from Alex's point of view, he tells what's gone on, but he just goes, I just don't want to be hurt anymore. And your heart goes out to him, because he just seems such a sweet boy that, like, how could you hurt him? You know, by the looks of it, he'd give her the world. So Alex's mum, Jed, gets a call just saying, we've got your son, he wants to come home. Very emotional. And the family are there, but they says he looked and he smelled like death. You know, he was unrecognisable. He walks with a limp. You know, she really hurt this lad. But she only pleads guilty to 3 counts. She was actually charged on 17 counts of GBH and controlling coercive behaviour. She pleads guilty to 3. And she actually says, wait for it, she told the solicitor she wants Alex to know she doesn't blame him for anything she did to him. When I heard that, I was like, oh, just... I think the word's narcissist, isn't it? Really. On the 13th of April 2018, Jordan received 2 7-year sentences for wounding with intent and GBH to run concurrently, plus 6 months for controlling and coercive behaviour, again concurrently. So and he do 7 years total. Concurrently is in the same, isn't it? And yes, right, sorry. If I've got, I'm sure I'm right, but if I'm not, please put it in the comments. So I'm pretty sure that for all of it, she's got 7 years total. Now, Jordan was the first female in the UK to be convicted of that charge, the controlling coercive behaviour charge, which I think is monumental. I think it would help other young lads, old lads, you know, any males in that situation to think, you know, he came forward, you know, maybe I could get help too. You know, 7 years, she'd do 3.5. I know she's still in prison. This was in 2018. But I don't think she'll be in for much longer, personally. Which, it's just got to be so upsetting, because he's got the 2 kids now. But how will that work when she gets out? You know, will she try and get them kids off him? I don't know how that'll work. I'm going to have to keep an eye on that, because I'd hate to hear she's took those children. You know, or someone's awarded her those children. It'd just be, you just don't know with somebody like that how far they'll go. Alex at the moment, though, like I say, he's got his 2 kids, and he looks so much better. If you have a look at the programme, it really is, you know, it's upsetting, but it's uplifting at the end. He's coaching a football team, and it's sponsored by a domestic abuse charity. And, you know, he's got the kids and he's got his family around him again. And, you know, you see when he goes around and sees his best friend, Jordan, you know, and they're just so sweet together. And, you know, they've got these Facebook pictures up, and you just think, just leave him alone when you come out. You know, I don't know. It's hard because of the kids. I don't know how that's going to work out. So, you know, I'm going to keep an eye on that. And in the future, if I do hear she's out and hear, you know, she's gone after the kids or any more of that, I will do an update on this one. But yes, it was Alex Skeel, abused by my girlfriend. And it is on BBC Three, iPlayer, if you want to have a look. And yeah, it's just a story I wanted to do, because I think for all the female victim stories that I've done, I think you know, it shouldn't be ignored that domestic violence on a male, you know, on men happens. It happens so much more than you could actually believe. And, you know, this young boy, if this young lad at 21 could get the help, and, you know, and she got conviction, you know, I think it could help other men out there who are possibly in the same position, and girls. Like I say, she was, in her behaviours, they're so similar to any of the male abusers stories I've done. I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters, male or female. I think you've that narcissistic personality, or, you know, it's in you, isn't it? It's just, it doesn't matter what sex you are. You either got that in you or you haven't. You know, I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters, male or female, to be honest. But let me know what you think. Thank you for joining me again. Bit of a long one tonight, but yeah, I just wanted to make sure I got all that over to you, because yeah, if you want to have a look, rambling now. I've realised how long I've been talking. But yeah, if you want to put any comments in, I'd really appreciate it, or subscribe. You know, like I said, I'd really appreciate it, and keep safe at this time. It will hopefully all go back to normal soon, fingers crossed, and I'll see you all soon. And just a little shout out to my sisters. Hi. Love you very much, and I'll see you all soon. Thank you.